And we are live. And welcome today to Jord from the middle of nowhere. He's not in hiding. He literally lives in the middle of nowhere. Um, welcome to the show, Jord.
Thank you.
In the Northeast, we call middle of nowhere BFE.
What does that stand for?
Oh, fuck Egypt.
So
There was a time when they used solid sun. What do you want about, Tim?
For the millions and millions sold.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so
Yeah.
McDonald's, sorry, Jordan, we'll get back. McDonald's on the signs outside, where it now says like McDonald's hamburgers or whatever, they used to have over 200 million sold or whatever, and you drive by it, and every couple of weeks they'd update it with 300 million and blah, blah, blah. And they did that up to well over 1 billion.
Yeah.
But, and they stopped doing it. Well, I don't know, Tim. You've got a youthful looking beard, man. Who knows?
Yeah. Of course, Bo's here.
Of course he is. I figured he'd be playing with his dogs, or one of his dogs would be making a mess for him.
I know, especially his new one.
Given the choice between playing with a puppy and hanging out with you and I, Mike, the puppy's a pretty easy choice.
Fair.
I don't know. We'll have fun. So.
All right, Jord from
Twin Falls,
Idaho.
Yes,
Idaho, the potato one.
it is.
Right, not the Mormon one, the potato one.
Yep.
Okay.
Mormon one south.
Right. Seeing the map in my head now. I can do it. All right.
Hey,
We got
TV.
too many states. We need to consolidate a few of them.
Yeah, TVs were actually born in Idaho. So
Really?
yeah, the guy who came up with how the tubes and stuff worked and the lights, he got it from the potato fields driving by and how they go.
How the hell did he figure that out from a potato field? He sounds like the professor from Gilligan's Island.
If you've never driven by them, they look really like, I don't know. It's hard to explain. It starts blurring together the faster you go, and because nobody lives here, we can go pretty fast. So
Is that the professor's last name, Dan? Farnsworth?
it is.
Good grief.
wow.
I learned trivia tonight already.
You
Somebody
did.
knows how to use a Googler.
Yep, Professor Farnsworth from Rigby, Idaho.
Do you think he invented the television because he was so bored he really wanted something else to do and knew he had to invent it?
Probably.
Yeah.
He was
I'm not
staring
gonna
at
lie.
potato fields, and he was driving past them really fast. So, what do you think?
Yep,
Fair enough.
that's my theory.
So watch this segue, Mike. This is a professional right here. So what do you do to pass the time, George?
Ooh,
Huh?
Yeah, that was very smooth. Very smooth. I tend to, besides reading, I watch a lot of sports on my TV.
You don't play
And
sports, you just watch.
I'm too old to play now.
How old are you?
I'm 38.
ugh.
I know.
Go ahead, Mike. You do it
No,
now while you still can.
Yep. No. I'll play when I can, but I don't play nearly as much as I used to. Play board games, and then I spend a lot of time in the mountains.
Just like walking around watching the potato fields.
You can't see the potato fields from the mountains. They're too
Oh.
high.
I don't know anything about potatoes. I mean,
Yeah.
they're yummy. I know that. But
You know they're native to Peru, potatoes.
They are.
And sweet potatoes, which are not potatoes at all.
sweet potatoes are gross.
Oh,
No,
what?
they're so good.
The only sweet potato I've ever met that I've liked was slathered in marshmallow cream. And to be fair, pretty much anything is good if you put enough marshmallow cream on it.
You put it. I was like, yeah, you probably only tasted the marshmallow at that point. But I do not like to watch Steph Curry do the Curry shuffle. But we got redeemed. So, but yeah, but no, I like to go hiking, like with my dogs. We'll just go walk through the trails and do things. Usually, I carry a book with me and then find somewhere where nobody can bother me up there. So.
Sweet potatoes would be
The downfall of Roe.
of all the shit we've said on this show over the last 2 years, I'm going to get canceled because of sweet potatoes.
I know. That's hilarious.
Man, it's something new every night. So
Yeah.
you had a channel, a YouTube channel.
I did.
Where you rated books or reviewed books.
Yep.
And what was it called?
Middle of Nowhere.
Oh, well, let's see. Okay, your branding's on point. And you're going to start it again soon?
That's the plan. I'll start it up again and be able to talk about books, because one of the things that I enjoy is spreading the love of books. And so when I find a good one and I like recommending it and saying, hey, read this book, and seeing somebody else get excited about a book you recommended, like probably very similar to the feeling you guys get when somebody reads your book and you get the 5 stars and they loved it and it was everything they were looking for. So just knowing that there's all these books, and I believe that every story has its own audience out there somewhere, like every book, every story that's written. And it might not be that exact person that's reading it at that moment, but it'll find its way to them. And then it becomes very memorable, and being able to help connect people and hearing them talk about those books. And I don't know, I've always enjoyed it.
So how long did you do your show before you took a little hiatus?
Just a few months.
Okay.
And then some personal things came up and I realized I needed to get some extra help. And so I stepped away from pretty much everything for about 2 years. So a year and a half about. But much better place now. So we'll see.
That is far more important than reviewing books.
Mm-hmm.
So
yes.
I have a question for you, because I've started reviewing books on my Substack page.
Mm-hmm.
And if I knew anything, I'd put the link in but no, I'm not going to bother. Anyway, I struggle to write 2 paragraphs. I basically, it was good. I liked it. Can't remember names, but it was good. And that's about my review for just about everything. And then I'm like, no, I gotta. How do you talk about books for 10 minutes? This amazes me.
So
2 hours every week, man.
But anything but the person's book.
Yeah. I don't know. So there's always certain things that stand out to me, like when I'm reading a book. So there's 5 categories. I kind of took the compile system and I cut it down, and then I just go based on those 5 things. And so then I focus on what stands out. And I try to focus on 2 major points. Like one thing that really stood out to me that it made me love that book. And then kind of segueing into here's some things that kind of threw me out of the book. Like what didn't fully work for me. Doesn't mean it was necessarily bad, but this is something that made me not be engrossed into the story nearly as much, or what somebody else might find issues with. And so I kind of focus on those two things, and then I kind of elaborate and build up the review around those 2 items.
Will you review a book that you don't like?
Nope.
Okay.
No. If I have a problem with it or really don't get along with it, I won't finish the book. And to me, if I don't finish the book, it's not fair to the author, because I didn't read their full story to get a full review from it. So I won't rate or review it, because to me, that's more fair. And usually I try to help find an audience for the book I didn't care for, because I know some people that don't like the books I like, but they might enjoy that one. And so I try to help people that way.
You don't read your enemies' books?
Most movies I've seen that I've really liked were off the back of a critical review that said it was horrible.
Yeah, that is true. If I feel like I need to put my voice out there, but I don't know. I'm not a negative person, so I struggle in writing those. It's just kind of.
I'll get you covered.
All right. I'll just send it over and be like, here, I hated this.
I'll write up a script for you. I'll be good.
Okay. Yeah. But no. So no, I tend to not have too many negative reviews. There are a few books that I really don't care for, but it's mainly in the thriller genre where those kind of hit. And it's more based on subject matter more than anything else. Some of the twists that have popped up, and it's like, no, I don't think anybody needs to be reading that. But
never thought on your long walks that I could be like thinking of my own book to write as I walk out here in the wilderness.
I've had ideas, yeah. I just need to sit down and write it. But one day.
Reading is much more fun.
It is.
Pressure.
And you're already doomed. Just having that thought.
Yeah.
You are doomed now to this life. Sorry. You've already thought too far ahead.
Yeah.
Thinking about doing it, it will just nibble away at your brain. But Mike thought about it for a long, long time, and look what it did.
Yeah. No, I've had one since my teenage years. Like, it's been in there a long time. So someday it'll come out.
Address this comment, and I don't think either Roe or I could go for 3 minutes straight.
I hurt my back. Oh my god, my knees, my back.
So here's where you get the little snippet from Up, where they have the walker and the stuff, and they pull the sword and the walker and go back, and their back seize up, and then they both just kind of stop fighting.
I have not seen that movie.
Neither have I. I know that's
one with the balloons in the house, right?
It is. Yeah. Joys of having a kid.
That was after my kids were past that kind of age, but I've seen Cars like 1,000 times.
Yeah, I've seen that one a lot too.
I saw that's my last Disney animated movie I think I've seen.
Cars?
Oh, Aladdin.
Aladdin. Even older.
That's what I was going to say, yeah. God.
I don't like animated shows, so.
You're just no fun. You're a little poop head. J4 has a question that's largely rhetorical.
Yeah. Well, people can't find where I live, so I'm safe so far.
And if they did, it's like, do I really want to go all that way?
Yeah. Just saying, you can't land in an airplane and get to my house, so.
No, a helicopter.
Yeah, that there's plenty of landing space.
None of it flat.
Just the fields. You might have farmers shooting at you, but don't give away my clues, Bo. But
do you think when you get ready to start up again, you will just if you're going to keep doing them as recorded and not live, do you think you'll just do a bunch of them first before you restart it, so you have like 3 months worth to put out there without stressing yourself about the timing of it, or are you just going to really dive in and?
So I'll give you backstory of how I did my videos. Like, when my wife would take the kids to go do something, I would record like 7 videos and just change my shirt in between.
Nice promo.
Yep. And then I would just edit those and start putting them out as it went. But so I'd probably do a similar thing until I get it somewhere to where I like it. But
the problem with doing that is you always go, oh, I've got like 8 of these in the bank. I don't have to do another one for like 2 months.
Yeah.
Continually doing one a week, so you always have 8 in the bank.
Yep.
And then you're like, oh.
So I have a question for you.
Uh-huh.
It's semi-serious.
I love the fact that you always preface every question with, "I have a question for you." Like, well, I hope you do, man. That's the whole point of us being here.
I was like,
just go query. And
gotta call on him, bro. Yeah.
so, have you ever thought of just doing your reviews live and not having to edit them?
Sometimes.
Just recording them and like I'm not editing. I'm just putting it out as is. So I hope I don't stutter.
Or
I've thought of
take a step further. Have you ever thought of getting the author of said book on to do it live and review it with them there so they can answer questions about it for you?
a little bit. I don't know. I haven't ever thought of doing it live. I've thought of like interviewing authors and things like that, but I tend to start pausing and thinking of different things.
Oh no,
Like
you don't pause and think. You just the first thing comes to mind just goes. You go on wild tangents.
Yes.
Do this.
Yeah.
Almost 400 subscribers.
Yeah, we still need 2 more. Damn it!
Hey, everybody go force somebody to subscribe.
Yeah. Kidnap them if you have to. Just click the button. We only need 2.
Yeah. But yeah, so just so you guys know, what like if you ever watch any of my YouTube videos, they're very heavily edited because I would all of a sudden have a thought and then you'd see me like start searching something on the internet because I was thinking about it.
All right.
And so my problem is when I do like the live things, like I'd be worried about that I'd be thinking about the book and it's like, I want to know if this part's accurate. And then I start looking into it and it's like, oh yeah, I'm making a video right now. So I'd worry that I'd be like, hang on, pause, time out. But
well, that's why you do it with someone else so that they can continue on talking while you, I mean, how many times, Mike, have I sat here and went, take it, Mike, while I Googled something?
Yeah. You say that and I'm like, wait, what? I'm reading the comments.
Yeah, but you've got like a dozen questions or whatever all lined up on your computer spreadsheet.
Yes, ChatGPT came up with some that were not truly awful, but most of them were.
What do you got?
I don't have an author. I only have author questions.
Modify it, man. Think on your feet. You're an educated man. Come on.
I know. You guys aren't used to having somebody that hasn't written a book.
This kills me because Mike is sitting there going, I don't know how to write a review. I just can't get the words out. Dude, you've written like 6 books.
Yeah.
Certainly you can spit out a couple hundred words for a review. Good God, man.
The hardest thing is writing the blurb on the back of the book. That is the absolute hardest thing.
Yeah, that sucks. Dude, that straight sucks.
And then in chapter 3, there's something really, So, okay, I have a question to ask you that Ro loves when I ask this question to all our guests, and hopefully you get it right. There's only one right answer, and Ro and I disagree on what it is.
You're a glutton, man, because everybody gives you the same answer, and it's not the answer you're looking for. But go ahead.
Okay, so picture yourself, you're going down the main street of your town.
Or another town, if you want.
Yep.
You can either be astride a griffin flying over top it or on the back of a T-Rex. Which one do you choose? I don't want to, influence you in any way, but
my thing is, if you're going down the main street of my town, you're using a griffin because it takes way too long to get anywhere else with it.
See, the T-Rex can just throw those cars out of your way.
There's no cars.
Okay.
Yeah.
And chalk another loss up for Mike. Okay, we have some real questions here for you, Jord.
I know. There's like 5 in there.
Current book and favorite read of 2025 so far.
All right. So,
I'll kick you off this show right now.
No, it's actually his book, Zach's book, ZB Steele's. I'm currently reading the arc of Whispers of a Storm. It is my current book going on right now.
That's my lying around.
I have the ebook.
Okay.
So
You don't have a picture that you can show somebody show what it's like. That's all right.
there's no picture on it. I can pull up Goodreads, but I can't.
Yeah, that's all right. We can.
Yeah. So.
All right, what do we got here? Here's another one. Top 3 that live rent-free in your head to this day.
Top 3 that live rent-free in my head. Tough question. It depends on the day. But the ones I always go back to are Pot of Prophecy by David Eddings.
Yep, solid.
You can't go wrong with it.
Yep. That's one that got me into like kind of my bridge into modern fantasy and things, like really got me into the fantasy genre. Another one is The Bourne Identity by Robert Ludlum, because the main reason it's lives rent free in my head is because it doesn't. The movie followed it for all of 30 seconds and then segued onto its own thing, and it pissed me off. And so I still think about that all the time. And then, I don't know. I don't know. Top 3. That's hard.
So when you review, do you for your channel, do you only do indies or do you do everything?
I do everything because I'll like whatever. Like, because I don't lump like separate the indies and the traditionals. To me, the story is a story. Like however it's published, like it's however they were able to get it published. Some people are fortunate to have a company publish it for them, and others have to do all the work themselves. And so I like to shout out the indies a little bit more just to try to help out, because I know how difficult it is for everybody. Like it gets wearing being a one-man show or one-man like cheerleader for your own books. Like you almost couldn't take a day off. And so I talk a lot about the indies, but I will still review a lot of the traditional ones. Like one of my favorite reads of a couple of years ago was the Malevolent Seven by Sebastian de Castell. And so I talked about that book a lot on the channel. So it's whatever I'm reading currently. And I read a wide variety, so I don't just read fantasy, sci-fi. I read a lot of thrillers and nonfiction and
all over the board.
Mm-hmm.
Jessica wants to know what made you get into reviewing.
So, pretty basic answer, but I love recommending the story and seeing joy from people reading my recommendation or finding the same love for a story that I did, or one that stands out to them and could live rent free in their own head as well. So that's kind of what got. I've always loved books, and everybody asks me like, "Well, what are you reading?" And it's like, well, if you're going to ask me, what am I reading? Like, are you going to go read it? Because you should. And so, for some reason, people started liking what I was saying about books, and they're like, "Hey, you should write up the reviews so everybody could see it." And so I tried doing it, and then I kind of got roped into it.
How successful was your channel when you were going?
It was fairly successful, I think, anyway. Better than what I thought. I was up to 200 subscribers in the 3 months I did it.
Nice. Yeah, we were promised that after the first 200, it would just go up really quickly. Right?
Yeah, I don't believe it.
Weren't we told that? The first couple hundred are the hardest. After that, it was just sit on 350 for fucking months.
Yeah.
That's all.
I think it's hard nowadays. Everybody can create the channel. Everybody can do it. And so it's hard to find. It's kind of the same thing you guys have. Like, there's so many books out there. Like, read mine. Like, watch my videos.
See, and that's what makes your job a lot harder, actually, because you actually have to read a book.
I do.
Like, in 186 episodes of the show, how many books have we read of someone's before they came on the show?
Oh, well, if I read it beforehand, that means because I read it beforehand before we even invited them, but not.
Right. But what I'm saying is there's very few where we actually read the person's book, because honestly, I mean, we want to hear about the book, but really we would rather just talk to them more about, the craft side of it, and just, get to know them as a person before we worry about them as an author.
And to be fair, we do 10 interviews a month too, so that's an awful lot of reading we'd have to do.
That's okay.
I do not read 120 books in a year.
I'm only at 30 so far this year. So.
Oh my God, you beat me for my yearly total then. I have been reading I've read 5, and it's still February. So of course 2 of them are novellas, but that doesn't matter.
Yeah. Another question here for you.
Oh,
did you read the prequel to Whispers of the Storm?
Yes, I did. And it's very good. I'm going to get a review out on it, so I don't want to say too much about it right now, because I'm going to kind of write both of the reviews. But no, I have a feeling that I can't say he's watching the show live.
Oh, that's okay.
So no, coming. If people want to find out, they can tune into your show. Damn it.
Yep. No. So I'm really enjoying the world that ZB Steel has created. It's a type of story that I really enjoy, and his character. It's the way he's telling the story through the characters in both the prequel novella and Whispers of a Storm seems effortless for him. I know it's not, but for a reader, you just kind of flow along with the story, which is really refreshing.
Is Whisper of the Storm, is that the one with the cute little fox on the cover?
It's the novella to that one. Okay, the prequel novella.
That cozy one that
everybody thinks is cozy, and it is not.
That's how they get you.
It is. Yeah. What is that? It's an E. He's going to laugh at me.
Hey, John Poor, if you think you're already going to have to redact your next joke, just don't put it up, man.
That's always an option.
It's like asking if this is okay. If you have to ask, it's not.
Yeah.
It's like saying, I have a question.
It is. Yeah, so an Inkling of Flame is the one that has the fox on it and looks cozy.
Do you ever get confused? I mean, reading that many books, if you've gone through 30 already and it's only like the day before March, for goodness sakes, do you get confused on what's what? How do you keep it all straight?
So I think, honestly, I feel like it's a kind of a gift that I've always had, because I've done it since I was a little kid. I'd have a book per room in our house. And so I would never carry the book to and from each room. I would just pick up whatever book was in the room that I was in and start reading it.
That's just lazy.
It was. That's exactly what it was. But mainly it's because I
can't carry the book.
Yeah. No, it was more that my mom would say, hey, do your chores, quit reading. And so I'd set the book down there and then go to the room to do the chores and be like, oh, here's this book. I'll just sit in this room and read instead.
We're sorry. Anybody can show up tonight.
Yeah, Dave's a good guy too.
I mean, for a thespian, I guess so.
So, without naming the book or the author, give us a synopsis of the worst book you've ever read. The one that lives in your head rent-free for just being so putrid that you keep thinking about it and wishing you could forget it. Just praying for a little bit of early onset so you didn't have to think about that book anymore.
There's a couple. One was I'm still in the middle of Fogbound, by the way. So it's not it's not that one. No, it was a few years ago. I got roped into like reading with this group, and they loved the book, and I was like, "How can you guys love this book? Like everything could have been solved with one sentence." Like the whole book was pointless, and I was just like, I don't know. And they tried to make this romance into it, and it's like, nope.
So kind of like the movie version of The Hobbit.
Yeah. Yep. And you're just like, okay. Oh no, I scared him away. I'm sorry. My threats.
We've had a net loss of people during your 34 minutes, man.
I know.
It's all right. You're certainly not the first, and you're certainly not the worst. So.
Yeah. So. But yeah, I know Jessica asked what genre was it. I think it would be more classified as romantasy, but it was a fantasy book. I read it a few years ago. I think it's on my Goodreads if you can go back that far.
So was the romance in it just not well written, or did it just not need to be there?
Both. The whole story didn't need to be there. Let's be honest.
Oh, okay.
But no, I'm glad. Like I said, I'm not a negative person, and that found its audience with the people I was reading with that I got roped into reading it with. So I'm glad that they loved it. But yeah, to me it was like after the first chapter, like they set up like this whole like mystery thing, and it's like you can the answer's right there. Like, why?
I mean, people have said the same thing about Tolkien too, right? It's like, oh no, what do? Call the eagles. Right?
Yeah.
Why couldn't the eagles just fly them over to Mount Doom to begin with and drop the damn thing in the mountain and save everybody all of this trouble? You know.
Yeah. So
that would be a bad review.
It would. That's why I didn't review that one.
Whole story didn't need to be.
So.
There's 2 hours of my life I will never get back.
So.
Oh, Tim Wolf, they couldn't fly the eagles. Why not?
Yeah. Basically, she falls in love with somebody that poisoned. She was a poison tester and falls in love with the person that was trying to poison him. I don't know. It's been a while. I try not to think about that book.
Doing the poisoning?
Mm-hmm. It's like, yeah. It's like, okay. Like, yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. Romance is one of those things that I'm torn, right? I mean, I'm glad that they have a name for it, the romantasy thing, so I know to avoid it. Right?
Yeah.
So it's put right out there on the cover. Really quick.
Yep.
But really just, you want a good dungeon crawl, right? You want a couple of snarky characters who can just go in and start hacking shit up. That's really what we're reading it for. I mean, every now and then.
Characters that hack shit up. Did Dave pay you to say that?
Probably. But no, Dungeon Crawler Carl, that one's fun. I did that one audio. Like that.
What is this? What is this heretic?
Yeah.
Point them out to me. Go on their site.
Ro, before you get too upset.
That's just being willfully ignorant.
Ro, he lives in Alabama, okay?
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
You know what's good about being in Alabama? You're not in Mississippi.
You guys have humidity, though.
Who?
Alabama, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Probably, yeah. Oh, no, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. There's no humidity where I live, so.
Just a dry heat, right?
Mm-hmm. Dry heat, dry cold.
Dry heat is all fine and dandy until it says like about $1.20 on the old thermometer, and then you can take that dry heat and shove it right up your ass because it's still hot.
It does. So.
Oh, there's a flex. Okay, JCM. Mr. Byrne.
He did.
A lot of people are going to have people before we get to them. That's good though. You got to break them in, right?
Yeah,
Get them to that point where they no longer care about pretty much anything, and then they're fair game to come on this.
it's true.
So
No, JCM Byrne, his Wistful Ascending is one of those books I shout about all the time. So
I think if it weren't for Wistful Ascending, Twitter would have like half as many posts as it does.
Well, that and fog-bound selfies.
Right, in the car.
yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I kind of cheat on that one. I have my Go Save the Child book every day. I sit in the car picking up my kid. That's how I pass the time. Is I take a picture of a random book every day when I'm picking up the kid. So Monday through Friday.
So
my Twitter feed.
story-wise, you've seen John Wick, right?
Oh yeah.
Does it bother you at all that if you ask pretty much anybody what really ratcheted up his thirst for vengeance, it was his dog dying? But shouldn't it have been his wife being killed? I mean, shouldn't that have, shouldn't he have been breaking into his little underfloor cache of guns for his wife? And what does it say about him that the dog is what pushed him over the edge?
Yeah. Based on the first one, though, he thought she was sick.
Oh, so it was okay. She was going to die anyway? Is that what you're saying?
It's been a while since I watched him. He thought she had cancer, and she passed away from cancer. And then she got him the dog to remember him. But
okay. So she got him. It has been a while. She got him the dog to remember her.
Yes.
Okay, so they didn't actually kill the wife.
Nope.
All right. Just so you know, Mike. Have you seen John Wick, Mike?
Of course not.
Are you freaking serious, man?
John Wick is classic. Like,
I've also never seen Pulp Fiction, so
Okay, Bald&Balding will now be called Bald, and there'll be another one called Balding. Because you need to spend some serious time in front of a television, my friend.
yeah. So, but no. I do feel like, though, going with that John Wick theme, like, if somebody hurt my dogs, I'd probably go John Wick. It's just the way it is. So,
I mean, and people could write books like, it'd be very difficult to write a book like that, right? Because I think one of the things I appreciated most about John Wick, he reloaded on a regular basis before he ran out of bullets, right?
Yeah.
And he double tap people, right? 2 to the chest, 1 to the head.
Every time. Mm-hmm.
No, which is just smart.
Yeah. No, you knew they were dead.
Right. Yeah. They're not getting back up to come up behind you or anything like that.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I appreciate the reload.
Yes. No, that is one thing that I have noticed in those movies is like every time. And like he switches guns when he runs out of ammo. Like he takes the bullets and the guns from the other people. Like when he's
right.
It's not just.
Sometimes you see a movie where they do that. It's like, oh, I'm out of ammunition, but I'm going to run right by these guys and their automatic weapons and not.
Yeah. Like I don't know. That's the one thing I always thought was great. I was like, so it's not just his weapons. Like he uses everything he has, and then it's like, okay, here's weapons right here at my feet from these 20 people that I just shot. But yeah. But
so what do you obviously you read more books than you review, right? So how do you make your determination on which ones you're going to review?
So it's pretty easy because I have a long list of review copies. So the ones I've accepted the book for a review, get a review. And then I have some, so like right now I've been rereading Raymond Feist novels. I restarted all of those. Like to me, I try to review the books where I feel like it's going to have a bigger impact than.
If you're the 5,324th person to review, Magician Apprentice,
Yeah, like to me, it's like you're either going to love it or hate it. You've heard about it.
To be fair, you're talking to a dude who's never seen Pulp Fiction or John Wick.
That is true. I've
also never seen any of the Friday the 13th or any of the Freddy Krueger. I don't like horror movies anyway, so. I saw Pet Cemetery, and I think that's like the first Chucky movie, and that's probably whichever one that came later is the last one horror movie I
What was the
saw.
last movie you saw?
I actually bought and watched Dune parts 1 and 2
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
What about at a theater?
in a theater. Oh God.
Was it a drive-in? Where you had to pull the speakers out of the pole and put them in your window?
I remember those.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw Wolverine. Was that a movie? Was that the title of a movie?
Yeah, a long time ago it was a movie. Yeah.
I saw that. I was in the movie theater by myself. It was wonderful. And as soon as I stood up, they immediately stopped the film, and I was like, "Well, somebody wants to leave."
Yeah. That's
So
funny.
if Brandon Sanderson sent you a book, you're not gonna review his book because he does not probably need the 200 people who are watching your show at this point.
No, I might talk about it, but to me, like everybody does that one.
Right.
I try to be the one that talks about the lesser known. I like finding those. That's why I enjoy a lot of the indie reads. But I still read. I still read all the others. I just don't. You can look on. To me, it's like if you really want to know what I'm reading, follow my Goodreads or ask me, and I can tell you.
Yeah.
But if I'm going to put out content, just because time is limited, and we kind of talked about how long it takes to review a video or just sit down and write a review, like it's a lot of time. And if I did that for the 30 books I've already read this year, like that would be a chunk. And I still have family time and work and other things. So
how fast can you burn your way through a 300-page book?
2 days.
Oh shit! And like how many hours? Do you
About
actually read every word, or are you just kind of skimming through it and burning pages?
no, I read every word.
Wow.
So, otherwise, I don't know. I feel like I couldn't review if I didn't read every word. So, but I don't know.
Have you read the Rooker Flynn books?
I've read not the new trilogy. I haven't got to them yet. I read The Legend of Blackjack, which was phenomenal, and really loved it. So they're on my list to read, like many other books. But
I like Blackjack. To me, that's a 4.5. Rooker Flynn is better.
Okay.
The first book is better, and the second book is better than the first. And I've already told Andy I really, really want that audio for the third one.
Yeah, no. I think what really stood out to me with The Legend of Blackjack is it spoke to me as a father and a son.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what really elevated it in mine, is like it was one that I could see my son reading as he gets older. My dad doesn't read much, so he won't read it. But I don't know. That stood out to me a lot, and just how well done it was, and it hit some of the things that like ring a bell with me. But I loved Rooker Flynn in that book too, so I was excited to see him get his own trilogy.
So for the folks in the chat, if you have a book that is not your own and does not belong to anybody else in the chat, give us some recommendations for Jord to go out and read, and doesn't belong to Mike or I. What do you got for him?
All right. See how well see if people even know.
So, have you read anything from E.L. Montague?
What's the name of the book?
Books. Oh my God, he puts out one every other month. Let's see. You got Heirs of a Flawed Creation.
Adrift in the Next Revolution.
Adrift in, yeah. You have To Catch a Witch, which is a novella. The Bastard Prince is coming out tomorrow. And then the contemporary fantasy, what is it, Ro? We talked about it before,
I don't remember book names.
when he said, anyway.
I don't think I've read E.L. Montague. I've heard the name, but
there you go. There's one.
I know.
And I want to read that.
Ballad of Spricket the Bard. It's on my list already.
I love the name. Names are like the worst things to come up with in writing a book. I hate coming up with names.
Yeah.
I imagine shit like Spricket, and I go, man, that's great. I want to Spricket.
Yeah. So I have the Ballad of Spricket the Bard already in ebook. So Finding the Lost Boys by Cat Bowser. Okay. Haven't heard of that one.
Do you like retellings like that where somebody takes a story that's already written and probably did pretty well and just kind of puts their own spin on it?
I do if they can make it better or different enough.
Yeah.
If you're just trying to use the same elements and try to retell it in just slightly different, I tend to lean back to the original because those are like kind of going into, I don't know, childhood, I guess, like when you fall in love, like with Peter Pan, like what little boy didn't want to be Peter Pan, not grow up and be able to fly, like.
So you've never seen the horror movie based on Winnie the Pooh that came out last year?
I didn't watch that one yet, no.
Yeah. I didn't see it either, but it looked pretty bad.
Yeah, I was just like, yeah.
Somebody really taking advantage of the fact that Winnie the Pooh came into the up, right? Fair use or whatever it is.
Yep.
So I'll tell you probably the best, I don't know, Rooker Flynn 2 was really good, but Vermilion Flame by Adam Fernandez, if you do sci-fi, really like that.
I do sci-fi.
It took like half a book for me to get in. I was like, I don't know, I might DNF because I DNF a lot. And I was like, man, I'll read a little more. And then by the end, I was like, oh, thank God I did not DNF.
You ever thought of doing a DNF channel, Mike? Mike's DNF.
Yeah.
Books I didn't finish this month.
Unfortunately, I finished 2 of Joe Abercrombie's books, and now I know to never read anything by him.
See, I think though, if you did it well, I think that would be a ratings winner for you. I think people would tune into that.
Yeah.
Not to slam the books, but just say why you didn't finish them.
There's a reason. When I would do wrap-ups, like kind of saying things, and I would mention some that I didn't finish just because there were things that weren't for me. But
yeah. And some books, I've read a couple recently that going into them and probably through the first dozen chapters or whatever, I wasn't real into it.
Yeah.
But then by the end of it, I was really glad I made the effort, right? I mean, you come get to the end and go, wow, this is really good. I want some more of this. And there's no more to be had, which is super annoying.
Yeah. No, I get that. Yeah. Usually my DNFs are if there's something that really bothers me in the book. Usually it's some kind of, I don't know. I know there was one book. I'm not going to mention titles or who it is, but like they threw a baby off a balcony just because they wanted to erase another, like the father of the child from their life and move on with another guy. The mother did that.
Yeah, you might not want to read my first book.
No, but it was that neither of the parents cared. There was like no emotion. It was just like throw the baby away for.
I mean, they couldn't have been that attached to it if it was new. They can make another one.
It's true. It's true. So, especially but no, yeah.
You don't have
but it was
in it yet.
Yeah, but it was more than just that one. Like it was basically all the characters had the exact same emotion, and which was none at all. And there was no differentiation, and it was just like I went through like 6 different chapters of 6 different characters, and they were all felt the same.
Gen X, a fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
I will tell you, I read the first Adan book. Well, actually, I listened to it, and there's a canine death there, and I almost stopped reading because of that.
Yeah.
You can't kill dogs, man.
I was like, too many people have read this and said it's good, but he was on very thin ice. But I finished it. I actually liked it. So.
Yeah. No, that's good. So no, there's not a lot. It's mainly things like that where if I can't connect, that this is very true.
How'd that go? How's that work?
We were in a Discord channel, the Keymark Discord. Back when it was the SFF Oasis is what it was called at that time. And we each received a copy of The Legend of Blackjack, and we were like the only two that read it. But we both loved it. And so we started talking about it and trying to get everybody, and we were just in that chat, and we were talking about the book, and Bo and I became friends ever since. It's one of the greatest guys I've known. So, yeah. So now we run it's mainly Bo's masterpiece. I just get dragged along, get a little bit of the credit, but SFF Insiders is what it is because of Bo and all of his hard work and his love of books, and privileged to be a small part of that with him. And
Are you going to Worldcon this year?
I am definitely going to try because it's only like a 12-hour drive for me.
Is it? You're like on the state next to it.
Yeah, out west.
Yeah.
12 hours?
Yeah.
So you must be in southern Idaho?
Yeah.
I am.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. You can do like 8 states on the East Coast in 12 hours.
I know. I did that once. I was like, what are you talking about? We're in a different state.
Right. Welcome to New Hampshire. Massachusetts. Wow.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Like you guys talk about like the hours of driving because you're stuck in traffic. Mine's hours of driving to get from point A to point B.
I went to New Mexico last year, 2 years ago, something like that, to see the eclipse. But anyway, I was driving on the back roads, and it started freaking me out. I was like, it's been 20 minutes, and I have not seen another car. I've not seen another human. And I'm like, if I break down, how long do I have to wait?
Too long.
Yeah.
Yep.
I had the same thought driving through Montana. It's like I'm looking around going, except for a fence and a railroad track in the road I'm on, there was not another man-made thing in sight. And you could see for freaking ever on that road.
Yeah.
Find yourself racing trains. It's kind of fun, actually.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
That's boring-ass driving, I tell you.
You got to get up in the mountains, though. It's a little bit more twisty and turny, but that's where it's fun.
Yeah, but inevitably, I get stuck behind, like up in New England, you get those freaking people from New York. They go up there in the fall, the leaf peepers. They want to see the pretty leaves.
Yeah.
They drive like freaking 30 miles an hour, and it's just so annoying. It's like, I'm on a fun road. Get the hell out of the way.
Yeah. Yeah. See, most people don't, we're not that well known for that type of stuff. So there's usually not that many people out and about on the roads. So get a few.
When I went out there, I went to Yellowstone, and when I was leaving, I went over Beartooth Pass, which is like over 10,000 feet.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember I'm getting loopy. I'm like, I could just drive off this road, and wow, it's a long way down. And I'm like, okay, I'm like, do I stop? I'm like, no, but let's not take the shortcut. But yeah, I do not like heights that tall. I will never ever go. 5,000 feet is fine. 10,000, I got a raging headache, and I was getting spacey, and I was watching my gas just go. I was like, I'm not driving that fast. Why is the gas just
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the altitude. So I do read horror as well, Jessica. So I have seen that one and have that on my list. So.
All right. As you don't have a character, there's no point in opening up the Bald Dome for that,
Yeah.
So when do you think you're going to be back on the airwaves on your own with Middle of Nowhere?
End of March to beginning of April.
All right. Okay. So you're already putting some stuff down on tape then, and.
Yep. You can thank my wife.
Think you'll have guests at any point this year?
It's possible. So we'll see if I do any of the live interviews, but I might. If anybody wants to do it, reach out to me and I'll see what I can figure out.
Don't say that. Dave Lawson's in the chat.
And you'll be happy to know, Jord, that you weren't responsible for losing us a subscriber. We got it back. So
Oh, good. Oh, good.
we have maintained.
I broke even.
Yep, that's right. I can't believe all these people here. Nobody has a friend, right? Two people
I know.
have a friend that they can just say, "Dude, just click the button so this dude shuts up."
Yeah.
Blame me.
See, I'll do it, but I have to drive 2 hours to my friend's house, and then I can get him to subscribe.
We not have phones in Idaho.
I do, but
Okay.
we tend not to answer them because that's people.
Yeah. Mabel, what we do the 269?
Yeah. So
Yeah, unfortunately, T-Mac, we're not talking about money changing hands. Yeah,
No.
we are a long way from that.
I'm just wondering why Bo hasn't made an account for Diesel and made him a 400th subscriber because,
I think he'd get over like 2,000 almost on day one with Diesel, especially with Diesel and Penelope together. Yep.
What are Diesel and Penelope?
They're his dogs.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. But they're very, very good looking dogs.
Well, we could get pictures of them and put them up in place of us, Mike. We could sit here and talk. We could just have pictures of the dogs or our cat or something. And,
Yeah. See, I had to make sure my dogs wouldn't interrupt the show. That's the other part with the live stream is usually my kids let my dogs in and they come racing into me, and then all you'd see was the back of dogs' heads as they tackle me.
I don't think people mind that much.
Probably not. They'd be like, "Hey, we just want to watch your dogs," and be like, "Okay, I'll leave."
you would have more subscribers.
Probably.
Just don't kill it.
And if you're sitting there like, and I liked the plot, and
Yep.
you'd be up there and higher than Andrew Wizard.
No, I might have to. I might have to bring the dogs on and be like, they're going to review the books. They're going to pick my next read. So
You'd probably pick better than Mike or I would.
I know. Mike recommended a book. I still need to get to it by J.R. White, the fantasy Western.
Yep. That's a book that I almost ran out of gas twice because I was listening to it and not paying attention. And I'm like, what's that light on my dashboard? Oh, it's the gas light. Twice. It was a 9-hour drive. I had to refill twice. And both times I nearly ran out of gas because I was just listening to his book.
Yeah.
There's no other weird Westerns that I read or particularly care for, but I don't know, just his style. Love it.
Yeah, I have it. I went out and bought it right after you recommended it. So
now Mike asked his T-Rex Griffin question, so I will leave you with this question.
Mm-hmm.
Also an oldie that people are probably sick of me asking, but here it goes. Who is the hero of the Harry Potter series?
To me, it was always Snape.
Oh, man.
2 for 2 tonight.
He's going to be.
And Snape.
I'm just not going to be able to talk to him now for a while.
Should we go for 3? Shall we go for 3 for 3? Are you a Star Trek fan?
Not as much. I was a Star Wars. See, I grew up in that time when you were either Star Wars or Star Trek.
Right.
And like you were, if you said you admitted, because I liked both, but I couldn't admit that I liked both back in the day because it was like you couldn't mix the two. Nowadays, everybody does, but yeah, I do like Star Trek.
Who's your least favorite captain? I will be insufferable to Mike if you get this right. Or I shouldn't say right, if you agree with what I say.
With what you say? Oh, man. See, I liked the classics. So Picard's probably my least favorite.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That went in an unexpected direction.
I don't think we've got that one before.
I don't think anybody
I like-
ever said Picard was their least favorite.
I like him, but I like the others more. So
Okay, fair enough. I
I'm
don't
weird.
have to be insufferable now, so you escaped, Mike, because I couldn't leave well enough alone.
Yeah.
Be happy at 2-2 with the Snape answer, which is absolutely spot on.
yeah, I'm guessing Captain Kirk was what you expected.
No, there are many more.
There are. I was like, that was a. How are we? See, now I've lost people.
You'll get them back
Maybe.
one at a time.
So you just want to be
See, you asked me who my least favorite. It doesn't mean that I don't like them.
Right,
Let me get that out there. Like I like Picard.
Ice cream, right?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, like you asked me that question, and there's just things about Picard that I don't know. They just weren't my favorite choices and things that he did, and it's like, okay. And those are what pop up when I was watching it, and like those are the moments in my head. So when I go through the list, that
like the fact that he let Wesley Crusher anywhere near the bridge.
yes,
Yeah, that was kind of annoying. I'll give you that. Yeah.
mm-hmm. Yep. So
Will Wheaton has redeemed himself.
he has.
It took another show to do it. So
I did. Yeah. I didn't like him narrating books, though. He's not my favorite narrator.
Really? I like him narrating. Ready Player One, I think, is the only one I heard.
It was what's his name? He wrote Red Shirts. But it was the kaiju one.
Oh, no idea.
I'm horrible with the name. I can tell you the whole story, but I can't tell you the author or the name of the book. But John Scalzi, that's it. Will Wheaton narrates his books.
all right.
Yep.
All right.
JCM Burns got it. Kaiju Preservation Society. See? All I have to do is start mentioning things and people remember. See, this is why I didn't do live, is because I can't think of them. So then I have to search for them on my shelf. And then I can hold it up and read it.
With that, Jord, we are going to tell everyone that we are back on the 4th of March with S.R. Arkaway, author of the Cry Chronicles. And then I think the 11th is the next one after that, right? The 4th and then...
Yeah, we canceled the 6th, so yeah.
Thank you. Where the hell am I? Yeah, the 4th and then the 11th. So you'll have a whole week between Mike and I. Give everybody a chance to go find a friend or two.
Yeah. So.
All right. And Middle of Nowhere, that's coming back at the end of March, early April.
It is.
Fantastic.
And you're reviewing books on SSF Insiders.
SFF Insiders. Yep.
I get that wrong every time. So, what's the last book you reviewed on there?
Last book I reviewed was Dark Bloom by Molly McCobb.
Oh. Liked it, I'm assuming?
It was enjoyable.
Mm-hmm. I say everybody likes that book. That's up there almost as many hits as Wistful Sending.
Yeah. You'll have to go read my review to see my full thoughts.
Nice segue. Nice.
I'm going to wait for the video.
All right. And with that happy thought, go check out Jord on what is that damn thing?
SFF Insiders.
Yeah, that's not what I'm thinking
Middle
of.
of Nowhere.
I'm thinking of Goodreads. That's what I'm thinking of. Goodreads.
Mm-hmm.
Go to Goodreads. All right.
Okay.
So, all right.
Thanks, Jord.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Everybody. Appreciate y'all joining us for another hour.
Yeah, it was fun.
Get back.
Don't forget to feed your dogs.
That's what I'm going to go do.
All right. Thanks, Jord.
Yeah.